Good day, everybody. Let's talk about the 2024 Ford F-150. Now, this is a mid-cycle refresh, but it's got some interesting things they added and subtracted from the lineup. Now, this was a big event. This was probably the biggest thing going on at the Detroit Auto Show this year. I mean, Ford even brought in Darius Rucker to have a concert down on the riverfront and to debut the 2024. So just, you know, one of the biggest changes is mechanical, and I'll get to that in a second. But first, just talk about styling of the 2024. Nothing significant. It's pretty much what you would expect from a mid-cycle refresh. We got some new grille designs. We got some new headlights and new taillight designs there. But if you put it next to the 2023, you'd have to be a real Ford F-150 aficionado to really pick out those differences there. Yes, some bumper design changes on the Tremor and the Raptor. You know, it's now equipped to accept a Ford provided winch, which has a camera on the front. So if you need a winch, it's the way to go. So on those two trim levels there. And then if you jump into the interior of the F-150, again, nothing really changed there. What the big news on the interior is that the 12-inch infotainment screen and the 12-inch digital instrument cluster is standard across all of the trim levels. So that's a big thumbs up there, because they're both very, very nice screens. And I think this has to do with Ford wanting to simplify all of their lineups, get the part count, different variations, get the part count and the different variations down, which they also talked about in their press event. Now, the other thing that Ford wants to brag about is they have added a new tailgate option. It's essentially a horizontally, you know, swiveling door within the tailgate. So you got the tailgate that drops down, and then there's a middle section that will pivot open. You know, the Ridgeline has the full swinging tailgate, but this one's kind of like a door in a door. And the idea there, at least Ford says, is this is for folks who like to tow and they can't, you know, this has different opening and it's a little bit smaller, so it fits between the back of the truck and whatever you're towing. It's a fairly narrow access, so we'll see how this works out in the real world. But in the tailgate wars, this is one of the first things Ford has done in quite a while to that tailgate. And then they also added another step option, you know, if you do get that tailgate, for how you could access your bed, which, you know, they always improve the bed too. So there's some more type of hold downs and some more slots to configure that bed to make it a little bit more usable depending on what you're hauling. But the biggest news coming out of this refresh is the mechanical side. So first thing is Ford has dropped an engine. They've dropped their naturally aspirated 3.3 liter V6. That is no longer the base engine. So good to know you, 3.3, you're gone so long. The base engine now is the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. That will come as the base engine, and that's a pretty good engine. You're talking 325 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. But the other big news now is that the 3.5 liter EcoBoost and the Powerboost, which is the 3.5 liter with the hybrid system, they will cost the same. So that's an interesting thing, because Ford is really going to push that hybrid. And there's really no reason, now that there's cost parity with just the EcoBoost, not to get the hybrid, because there's three big things about it compared to the non-hybrid, and that's that you get gobs of torque. It's well over 500 pound-feet of torque in that thing, 425 horsepower I think it is, but that's just, it outperforms the non-hybrid. The other thing is that you maybe some better fuel efficiency. I don't know how those things do in the real world. Now, the third big thing about that hybrid is it comes standard with a 2.7 kilowatt inverter on board. You know, you can pretty much replace any generator that you own to power your house in an emergency, or when you're camping or working on a job site. So that's standard for the same price. So that seems like a no-brainer, and that's why Ford is really thinks that their hybrid sales are going to really take off. They're really pushing the hybrid. Now you can also get the optional 7.2 kilowatt inverter on board, and that's just going to be gobs of power. There's plugs everywhere, and you can operate just really heavy loads with that type of inverter on board. Now you can also add power on board to the non-hybrid Ecoboost, like 2 kilowatt, but why would you when you can just get it all together when you buy the hybrid? Now regarding the Raptor, it's all back again, both the regular Raptor with the Ecoboost engine and the Raptor R with the supercharged V8. That is back, didn't go nowhere. Lots of improvements there as far as desert running, jumping performance, because you know everybody does that with their Raptor. And the horsepower numbers for the supercharged V8 have not been released, but we expect that Ford is going to release that number once they get it finally tweaked and they can confirm that they have the highest performance sport truck out there amongst all the major brands. Anyway, so thanks for joining us today on this morning news drive. The whole point of morning news drive is to give you a quick overview of some interesting things going on in the auto industry. So check out Beyond's full channel with all of our reviews and other commentary, and be sure to like and subscribe. So thanks again for joining us today, and have a great day, morning or evening, wherever you may be.